Hello, everybody, and welcome to MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision. I'm Jim Powers. Glad to have you with us as we catch up with all of our winter coaches here throughout the 2014-15 year. And right now, joining us for the first time here on Saints Vision is our swimming and diving coach, Lori Payne. And, Coach, first off, great first season for you guys. How, in your mind, how has your first year here at Maryville gone?
Well, we've had a blast. We're in a building mode for sure. We have all freshmen except for one sophomore swimmer and a sophomore and junior diver. It's a learning process for the girls. They've come from the gentle nature of high school swimming into some pretty tough training with us.
And talk a little bit about that difference. I mean, I know that. I see it firsthand on the high school side. But that transition, especially with this being the second year of the program.
Well, we are running double practices this year, which means the girls are up at 4:45 in the morning. They're in the pool before 5:30 every morning, 4 days a week. We turn around at night 12 hours later. We're back in for another hour and a half of swimming, and then we have 4 days of weights. So they go to bed tired, they wake up tired, and the transition between the doubling up on the training and school has been a challenge, and they've come through beautifully.
The recruiting side of thing, obviously, I know on the girls' side, it makes it a little bit more difficult for you recruiting-wise now because the high school girls' season coincides with our women's season. How have you, as a coach, been juggling that?
That hasn't been that hard. I've been around St. Louis swimming for a lot of years. I know an awful lot of coaches, and they know that I'm looking. We have a challenge because it is a new program. People are a little apprehensive about it, that it doesn't have its feet dug in real deep, but they've also seen how much we've improved this year, and the status of the school is something to really sell to the girls.
You know, and obviously second year, a lot of freshmen, sophomores, maybe even a few juniors, you know, intermixed. How have they, other than the practices and all that, responded? I know you guys have done really well in some of the meets and some of the invitationals you guys have swam at.
We have done well. We've gotten better as the season has progressed. We had a slow start to the beginning of the season. Again, the girls were adjusting to my way of coaching, which is I do live up to my last name on occasion. But they've built a wonderful endurance base. Their speed's coming around now. I think they thought that taper was literally dropping straight off from 10,000 yards a day to 1,000. That's not how taper works. And they've learned that they will swim fast, tired too. By the time we get to conference next week, they'll be well rested and ready to swim fast.
No doubt. Talk a little bit about some of the kids that we're going to hear about next week as we go to Crawfordsville for the GLVC Conference Championships.
I don't have any favorites. Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses. They make me laugh at every single workout from some silly comment or another. But we have girls who, I had a girl who came to me and said she was a breaststroker. She's turned out to be a wonderful 200 butterflyer. She's on a big learning curve, having never swum that event before. I have dealt with a few injuries this year, and we've changed their strokes to another stroke that accommodates their injury. We have several girls that race hard at each practice against each other in their various strokes, and they all have learned to help each other in practice, and that's really, they've come together very, very well, and I like that. As a team, as a coach, that's what I'm looking for, that they're working with each other, not against each other.
And that obviously gets you ready for, you know, the conference meet and the GLVC year in and year out. And I learned this last year, first year, it's a tough conference when you've got the Juries of the world and some of the other schools. What are some of your feelings going into conference next week?
Well, I expect best time that's out of the girls. I expect it to be another learning experience for them. They're a little bit apprehensive about going into this. They're worried about being away from school so long. I have a very, very strong academic team, which is nice. They're just as worried about packing their backpack with their laptops and their schoolwork as they are their swim backpack. I think the girls will do well at conference. They've trained well for it, and they'll be ready when the time comes.
What's one or two girls that we should be looking out for at conference next week?
They all have their strengths and weaknesses. I'm trying to be diplomatic.
No doubt.
I'm anxious to see Natalie King swim the backstroke in the 400 IM. She's had a good year. Erin O'Brien has turned into a wonderful sprinter. And then Mackenzie Jones, my 200 flyer, will be fun. It takes a lot of guts to swim that event and the longer events. Every girl has something to offer the team. Our relays are strong. Even my bead relay is very, very strong, and that's kind of a treat. The girls practice their starts and turns and dives together, so they know the timing coming into the relays, which is good, and I think they'll succeed.
Outstanding. Well, I know I've talked to a couple of the girls this year as Saints of the Week on some of our Skype stuff. I'm really impressed with, how they've taken to what you're bringing to the table. And I know how successful you were on the summer circuit here with the Rockwood swim program and all that. And it's really great to have you here because I think that's just going to add more credibility to our program.
Well, thank you for saying that. It's nice to hear the vote of confidence from the girls. They really were with me, holding my hand through a very rough fall with the loss of my parents. And I couldn't ask for a better group of girls to be with.
Outstanding, Lori. Well, good luck at conference next week, and we'll catch up after conference and kind of get a recap.
Very good. Thank you so much, Jim.
Lori Payne joins us here. Conference meet is next week out in Crawfordsville, Indiana. All the action will be on the GLVC network. All you need to do is go to glvcsports.com, and you'll see the logo, GLVC Sports Network. Click on that, and we'll have all the action. I'll actually be out there for a couple of days doing a lot of the commentary for the Swim and Diving Championships. For Coach Payne, I'm Jim Powers. Glad to have you with us here on MaryvilleSaints.com and Saints Vision. Have a great week, and as always, go Saints.